Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video we're talking about Pirate Rumble. So with the cooldown of the new Kid Forest, I thought let's have a chat about Pirate Rumble and what are the best teams floating around at the moment. So I've got the top 5 teams in my personal opinion, and we're going to talk about Gather Island as well, what you guys should be leveling up, again in my opinion, and what's the most worth. So before I begin this video, I do want to state that this is all my personal opinion. There is no right or no wrong answer when it comes to Pirate Rumble. This is not a be-all and end-all. You don't have to use these units, and you don't have to level up these particular islands. Just a little bit of a guide for you guys to sort of get a gist on what's good and what's going to be good in the future. So we're looking at the attack variation, as defense is sort of just it's sort of not something that we want to be looking at. You can sort of cheese that with defensive units. So got some honorable mentions here. This team here I think is going to be pretty strong in the future when V2 Rayleigh gets his Super Evolution. The red, blue, and green team. Mono Dex seems like it's going to be fairly good too. We also have the Psy and Quick team, another honorable mention. And finally we have the Striker team, another honorable mention here as well. So these 3 teams are good, but I wouldn't invest in them, to be honest. There's some good units to invest in, but yeah, there's a lot of new stuff coming up that are going to make these teams stronger in the future, or these units are going to sort of drop off. So in 5th position we have the Crit Free Spirit team. Now this team can do quite a bit of damage. It does lack a lot of defense, so you do want to try and bolster your crit damage, your speed, and your attack. So Luffy Zoro, very, very strong for this team. Targets a bunch of enemies and does a lot of crit percent up. Sabo Koala, same thing, does a whole bunch of speed and crit up. Atama's a great little healer there. You've also got Boa, again, more attack up, more crit percent up. And then you've got Marco and Ace as well. It's all about striking with critical hits. If you hit a crit, you get attack level up 6. So like you can just stack that like up to 2 times, which is great. And then you have Corazon here. Corazon is really, really good. He does a whole bunch of stuff for cooldown, speed, and he nerfs quick type units. So the Free Spirit Crit team coming in at number 5. Number 4 is a Fighter team. Now this is more of like an Int strength team, to be honest. Another little variation of the Int team. Int just has so many good Rumble units that the Fighter team comes in as the next number 4. Now this team rocks majority of the time you'll see mainly Int and a little bit of strength. Now, Katakuri, arguably one of the best, if not, yeah, probably the best Rumble unit. He nerfs Psy units and does defense down. He gives Int units speed, which is great. And he's special. Fixed damage to all enemies up to 2200 and nerfs Free Spirit, Cerebral, and Powerhouse units. Really, really strong. Can kind of just chuck him on any team, to be honest. Next is you have Jinbei. He does HP and defense up, which is really, really strong. And he also does attack down, which is great. Sanji's for Int teams mainly, but he also boosts fighters on that team. So he does defense down, which is terrific, as his team is majority Int. The Rumble Jozu does massive defense, massive guard, massive speed. Really, really good for the Int team. Basically essential. We have Jack here too. He's again HP up and defense up. With him and Jinbei, they can work really, really well together for massive, massive stacks. And then you have the big dog coming in the back there with the Kainu, who is really, really strong. On to team number 3 now. Now, this is one that's a little bit debatable. I've got it quite high at the moment, as most people are using it, and it has a lot of color variation, which means investing scrolls is a lot easier. So that's how I've kind of looked at this tier list of mine. It's more availability of the scrolls we have, not exactly what the units can do. But obviously with the crit team, when it's maxed, it could be higher. Shooter teams, probably lower with the other teams maxed. But at the minute, it is very, very good. So we have a Kainu, who's a strength, dex, quick unit booster. He does defense down. He's special, just kills the healer basically, and then does damage over time. Really, really strong Rumble unit. Ace is basically a nuker. He also buffs Free Spirit and shooters, which is great. Frankie, is your tank. He gives fighter, striker, slasher, and shooters, which is everyone, HP up. And his special is a HP cut as well as a defense up, which is awesome. Kuzan the Cheese Master. He is all about giving team attack up to level 7 with a critical. But his special is what you want. This 2500 to large range and 85% to action bind is really, really strong. And then we got the boy Borsalino in the back there that does a whole bunch of speed for shooters and slashers and just spams specials, man. We've also got this little Usopp on the team here who comes in, and if you get his special off, can action bind for 20 seconds, which is huge. So, shooter team coming in third. Very debatable, that one, though, I won't lie. But with the resources that we have available, I do believe that this team is coming in at third. The next two teams I have for you guys, in my opinion, at the moment are probably equal first. Now, I would definitely say that the Int team is the strongest out of the two, but the flexibility of the Slasher team and the resources we have available to us at the moment, it has so many goddamn different options that it is just awesome. Obviously, running mono Int, you are limited to the Int scrolls that you have. I know you can put other colors in, but for the most amount of XP with the limited resources we have, I think the Slasher team is just as good as the Int team at the moment. But let's have a look at the Int team. So, the Int sort of driven team sort of thing. We have Blackbeard here now. Blackbeard's rumble abilities, he buffs Int HP. And if HP is below 60%, then he's just self cooldown. Now, he just spams specials, man. He can do a self-attack up to level 10. And he can just spam specials all day. 20-second cooldown, which is great. We have Katakuri again. Just phenomenal rumble unit. We have Rare Recruit Enel. This guy is a monster. If we have 6 members or less, Int-type teammates get HP level 5, speed level 5, and defense level 3. That is just phenomenal. As long as you have 6 or less, which is very easy to do. He also gives defense up and guard with a 1.8 times multiplier damage to large range, which is really strong. Now, the next unit, I believe, is the best rumble unit in the entire game, at the moment on global at least. This guy, for the teams that he's on, is just so good. So he gives crit percent up level 6, defense up level 5 for slashes and drivens. And he targets 3 enemies for 2 times his attack, and just, he can do so much damage. And he's basically the core. If you kill Dofi, there's a good chance you're going to win, to be honest. His rumble ability for slasher and driven is HP level 6. For the first 30 seconds, that you get defense up level 3 and attack up level 6. Very, very strong, as majority of this team is actually driven. Everyone but Jozu and Pudding, but this team is very flexible. We've already really spoken about Jozu. You guys know how good he is. But the bench is very, very flexible. You can put Jinbei on this team. You can put Sanji on this team. You can put V2 Shanks on this team. They all work really, really well as in boosters as well. So the final team we're going to talk about today is the Slasher team. Now, like I said, the Slasher team is so flexible. This is my variation of it. I love V3 Law, so I am rocking V3 Law. But you can put on Dogstorm. You can put on V2 Dex Mihawk. You can run Luffy Zoro. You can run Clash Mihawk. You can run V2 Zoro. You can run... The list goes on and on. You can run Cracker. Like, there are so many good units that you can put on this, and they are all variety of colors. But for the team that I'm using, again, we have the head, which is Dofi. He's the core of this team. Like, without Dofi, this team does not function at all. We have Carrot. Carrot is arguably one of the best rumble units as well. Her ability of speed and like cooldown is ridiculous. Her special is so damn strong. Does a large range for the frontal to up to 2450 fixed damage, which is really, really strong. And then 20% cooldown reduction. Oh, she's so good. So good. Next, we have my boy. This is another reason why I love the slashes too, because I get to use this monster, Shanks crew. I love this unit. This unit is so damn good. He is a HP cutter for a medium range, but then raises your whole team's defense for level 4. So he's a Rainbow Defense Booster. Going to be very strong in the future when Rainbow teams become more apparent with stuff like Rumble, Whitebeard, V2 Rayleigh 6+, Luffy and Sanji, stuff like that. So when the remaining time is less than 70 seconds, defense up level 5 and self-attack up level 3, which is just awesome. That level 5 defense is so damn good. He also heals himself, which is another thing that I haven't spoken about. These guys attack patterns too, so the behavior pattern's not exactly the most important thing to note, but all this stuff down the bottom here is just extra fun stuff. So like 50% to evade special blinds, yada, yada, yada. Next, we have the combo of Kizaru and V3 Law. I love this little duo. Kizaru's constantly spamming specials, raising attack, and then V3 Law nerfs int units, driven units, powerhouse, and something else. So his special does 2200 fixed damage to a large area, and for Sire units, removes bind, paralysis, and action bind reduction for 22 seconds, which is really, really good, especially when you're versing stuff like Kuzan V1+, or that little Usopp. Any of those cheese teams he can get around. His Rumble ability will nerf, or he gives CT speed up level 6 and for the first 40 seconds. Driven powerhouse enemies CT speed level 6, or down level 6, and guard down level 6 and speed level 6. So he nerfs the in team very, very, very well. And he also is a healer for himself. Finally, I have this little Jozu at the end there. He comes in for a bit of speed. He's a cool little unit to have at the end there. But like I said, very, very flexible. So that's my sort of tier list at the moment, the way that I'm looking at it. The Slashers and Int team is the best. Like I said, if this team was maxed, the Int team, there's no argument that it is the best team in the game. But where we're sitting at on Global at the moment, the Slasher team is definitely up there with the Int team. Shooters coming in at 3rd, the Fighter team coming in at 4th, and Free Spirit Crit team coming in at 5th, with the honorable mentions of Strikers, Sire and Quick, and the Red, Blue, and Green team, which I'm really interested in when we get some more units coming out, like Rumble Whitebeard, V+, Ray 2. Should be really, really cool. Should be really, really cool. So now that we've spoken about that, let's have a look at Gather Island. So Gather Island's a funny little island that basically gives us a whole bunch of rewards. So moving forward, we are going to get the challenge Chopper Man missions, which means we have to get all of these to level 10. So it is in everyone's best interest to probably start doing that, especially because once you get very high on these, like, say, for example, upgrade requirements here, it takes so many tickets. Like, it takes 60,000 to get to the last stage of these monuments. So once, like, even for me, it's taking me, 1,200, like, to get to the next level. I only got I think 17,000 from my entire Rumble journey, which cost me a lot of gems, and I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon. So I would definitely recommend leveling up these 3 shrines. Mine are level 15, 15, and 20. CC is going to be really, really prevalent. Obviously, it's a constant farm as we play the game. So I would definitely level these guys up, but don't throw all of your investment into them. As CC's great, but there are some other really cool things over here that we're going to talk about. So this little shrine, I got mine to level 5 for an extra 10 stamina. Not overly necessary for end game players, but for new game players, I feel like it's going to come in handy. Getting it to level 5 cost me absolutely nothing, so definitely worth looking at the Spring of Vitality. Next, we have Training Ground. Don't even worry about it. Rayleigh points are just Rayleigh points. There's no point wasting your time. The Meat Roaster. The Meat Roaster is awesome. I really, really like this, especially as a content creator, but not only that, but for farming as well. It's so damn good. The fact that you can stock 2 meats for a full stamina replenishment is just so damn good. So I leveled mine up to level 10. I'm going to leave it there for a little while, but 1 stamina meat every 80 hours is good enough for me. Next, we have the Belly Cave. Mine's at level 5. Again, not overly necessary for endgame players, but it is something there that's a nice little addition. Rainbow Gem Tree, the controversial Rainbow Gem Tree. Now, I would get this guy to level 10 for the Chopper Man missions and then just leave it at that. Honestly, this should be like a last sort of resort priority. Focus on the cotton candy, focus on buffing your units that you have. Gems will come and go as you play the game. This is just an extra bonus. Like, 1 gem every 84 hours, every, 3.5 days? Like, that ideally is still like 100 gems per year. So, like, that's good enough, in my opinion. If you guys want to throw more resources into it, like, go for it. But in my opinion, it should be on a low priority, like down low priority with like training points and the gold cave, to be honest. So that's that. Next we have the Gilding Mine. Now, I'm a big fan of these. The Gilding Mine, the treasure hunters, and the fishing spot. These can all give stuff like rumble scrolls, limit break materials, really, really good stuff. So, if it was me, I would definitely get them to level 10. And if you want to invest in them a little bit more, go for gold. So, especially for like newer players, endgame players, all types of players, like these are really, really good value. Really, really good value. So, limit break keen costs you an arm and a leg. So, fortunately, we failed there. It is still an RNG, so that's about to say as well. It is still RNG, so getting these levels ups aren't the be-all, end-all, but they do help out sort of just for free items every single day. So, again, I would get them to level 10 for the chopping man missions. If you want to invest in them more, go for it. But, again, just remember it is RNG. So, just to sort of break this down again for you guys, in my opinion, as I said, in my opinion, not be-all, end-all, I would focus on these 3 shrines, keeping them around the same sort of levels. So I'm going to get the HP and the recovery to level 20 on our next sort of end of Rumble. Next, I would focus on the fishing spot, the treasure hunter spot, and the gilding mine. And then I would just throw a little bit into the Spring of Vitality, the meat roaster, get all that stuff up to level 10 so you guys can finish those challenger shopper missions when the extra 50 gems becomes available to you. So that's my little breakdown of Rumble there, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. And if you want to stay up to date with more OPTC content that I post, hit the big red subscribe button too. Let me know your opinions in the comment section below too, guys. All opinions are welcome, whether they're against mine, whether they're with mine. I don't really care. If you have something to say about this sort of stuff, please, I am all ears, and I am very, very interested to hear what you guys have to say about Rumble and OPTC as a game too. So drop a comment, any questions, happy to answer them. And yeah, let me know how you guys are finding Rumble. So thank you guys for watching. Most importantly, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Lights!